And Middlesbrough, having come close to the playoffs last season, they've had a difficult start. Does that just underline how difficult this championship is?
Well, it's always a tough league. And you've got to try and get a run of games where you can build your performance levels, which obviously includes building confidence, which means that you are you're a force. You build your game up, and we've not had that chance. And obviously, at that 7 games, we've had 6 away from home. It's been really strange. Like I said, first 6 games last season. I think we're a point behind where we were. 6 away games, I should say, and that sort of should put things into context and perspective for people, but and not least for us in the building, because you look at that league table and you don't want to be anywhere near where we sit at the moment. But we've just got to be calm and build into the performances. It's really important that we've got to maintain that and build into performances that can start to win football matches. And those 2 games, which is why it was pleasing, you start to sort of put markers down where you need to be. First clean sheet was really important because we were conceding too many goals, but there are a lot of teams in the same position or a similar position. But again, we'll go back to it. If we can build the confidence through performances, then they're certainly good enough as capable players.
You obviously lose Mustafa Hamer for 4 games. I mean, how much does that change things for you?
Well, it changes it because we lose one of our better performers. He's a good player. We can't do without anybody. But when things are avoidable, certainly avoidable when somebody grabs you. I mean, look, what happened there was their player held Gus down, which is a booking in itself. Then Gus tries to free himself. Didn't try and kick him. He didn't kick him. He didn't make contact with his head, and that was clear from the footage afterwards. The referee thought he'd seen him kick him, whether he kicked out or not. At the end of the day, he didn't kick him in the head. He tried to free himself up. I think that's more of a natural reaction, in fairness. But what we've got to make sure is that when you are under scrutiny, which we feel he is, then you've got to be. Try and take that deep breath, count to 5 maybe, and wait a split second. I think the other side of the coin there is that they'd picked up the ball, and I think Chong had picked the ball up and he was starting to run with it, and I think Gus was trying to free himself to try and get to the next player. But like I say, ultimately it is what it is. We've got to take it on the chin now, and it's disappointing. And again, I reiterate that we have to be, and Gus has to be calmer than that, and that's a learning curve for him. He was doing really well. I'd sort of said the previous time when he got sent off earlier on at Millwall, after that he had sort of gone through the bookings that he'd picked up and started to try and rectify that and understand why and put it right, and he was doing that. But this time it was it's just really disappointing, and like I say, we didn't spend all the time talking about it, but it is disappointing because he's one of the better players. You need him on the pitch because he makes things happen. So it's up to somebody else now to try and make those opportunities for us, for other players and themselves.
We're seeing the pictures of Callum back at the training ground. How close is he?
Not close enough for my liking, but he's a lot closer than we thought he may be at this stage. So that's a good thing. I think maybe I don't want to really put too much of a time pressure on him because it's a really important period for him to make sure that he's fully healed. But yeah, to see him on the pitch obviously means that he's not too far away, and look forward to the time when we can include him again.
And Ian Kelly, is he anywhere near?
Yeah, he's training. He's training now. So he's a lot closer. He's a bit closer than Callum, but like I say, they won't be too far apart. So that's a good thing. And as long as Kells is physically okay, then he'll be back in with us. Yeah, and he's training now. So happy days.
So finally, for me, just back to the home game and the home crowd. I know the away crowds are giving you good support, but you're looking forward to getting a really big welcome from home supporters.
Well, I think, it rubs off, doesn't it? I think we're really looking forward to playing in front of them. I think the players have been starved of that. The supporters have been starved of that, and I think that you'll see a wall of noise tomorrow. And we'd love to see a huge number. But like I said, we're just looking forward to getting back and playing in front of them and putting on a decent show, and hopefully we can put on a performance that warrants the points.